Hi everyone, Megan here from Beguiled by Books, and today I'm going to talk about my top 5 fantasy books or fantasy series that I think are worth all the hype. Let's get started. Okay, so the first series that is worth the hype and has gotten tons of hype over the years is the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. You can't go wrong. Tolkien essentially invented what we know today as high fantasy, a fully built world, mythology, backstories, history, species, races, everything is in there. You really can't go wrong with The Lord of the Rings. It is one of my all-time favorites. It is well worth the hype, regardless of what you may think of the movies or anything like that. It is a classic and should be read as such. So definitely put The Lord of the Rings on your TBR if you have not read it and you are a fantasy reader. The second book series that I think deserves the hype that it has gotten over the years is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Regardless of what you think of J.K. Rowling, we're going to set that to the side. The books and the storyline are wonderful. They are going to be a classic if people don't already consider them to be a classic. It is part of pop culture as we know it. It will be for a very long time. And the story itself is really fantastic and relatable for kids and adults. It's a great story overall that transcends that kind of age restriction of so many books. It's really wonderful and one I reread all the time. The next fantasy series that I think is absolutely worth the hype is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I recently read this series. I did not think it would be living up to the hype that so many people were going crazy for it, and I was very wrong. It is a great series. It's really fun, and of course, that got me sucked into the Throne of Glass series, the Crescent City series, and with everything happening, I'm very interested to see how these are going to converge. It is an ongoing series. It is by no means wrapped up. So again, A Court of Thorns and Roses, a great series. Currently, it's 5 books. We'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, that is one of the series that absolutely lives up to the fantasy hype, in my opinion. The fourth fantasy book/series that lives up to the hype is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This was making waves back in the early 2010 timeframe, and there was a movie made, there was a TV show made. It's really well done. I really enjoyed it. I've actually read the 6 books in the Mortal Instruments series a couple times, and there are offshoots of that as well, prequels, sequels, things like that. So that's a really fun urban fantasy. So high fantasy is a world that is completely separate from our own. Urban fantasy combines the elements of fantasy, but in today's world. And I really enjoy how the Mortal Instruments is a great urban fantasy story set in New York and modern day cities, but with magic and demons and the paranormal mixed in. I really think that's a good one that was really hyped up for a while and still holds up after all this time. And then my 5th and final book that is going to be a series is that lives up to the hype is Fourth Wing. I've talked about it before, and I really did not think Fourth Wing would be as good as everyone on Book Talk and BookTube were saying. And again, I was wrong. It is fantastic. It was really well done, very fast paced. I read it in, oh gosh, like 8 hours over 2 days. Excellent book. The second book in the series is coming out November 7th, 2023. It's called Iron Flame. So that will be the start of a series. I'm sure it will live up to the hype, but we will have to wait and see. What are some of your favorite fantasy books or fantasy series that have been hyped up? And did they live up to that hype? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate a subscribe as well if you like this content, and I'll see y'all next time.